So, a very warm welcome to all you wonderful educators, subscribers of Universal Mentors Association on this warm day of summer in Delhi, especially, and I believe the same is there in Mumbai and Bangalore as well. We are coming up with the fourth edition of our Talking Education series, powered by Brain Wonders. Thank you so much to Brain Wonders for powering this complete session. It's our esteemed honor. It's really an honor for an organization like us to welcome these speakers and the panelists on this amazing, uh, discussion that we're going to have, which will talk about, the role of technology in shaping the future of the education, especially the students, because that's all we are working for. uh, and one surprise is that the principals that you're going to, or the individuals that you're going to listen to today, are the esteemed winners of Principal of the Year award, our esteemed Principal of the Year award, who have received more than, who have been shortlisted out of more than 700 odd nominations that we have received across, the span of 3 months, and we'll be honoring them on 8th of July in Delhi. So, without further ado, let me just introduce you to our moderator. She is Miss Vishakha Gupta, who's the principal of Beacon High School in Mumbai. And I'll not take a second away from you, ma'am, because I believe this panel does not need an organizer. It just need a good moderator to take this session away. So, without further ado, I request Vishakha ma'am to introduce the panel, the topic, as well as the amazing speakers that we have in the lineup today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you so much, Sandeep ji. And it's an absolute pleasure and honor to be hosting this program today. Uh, the topic that we're going to discuss today is role of technology in shaping the future of students. Now, let's first understand what does the word technology means. Technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. So basically, when we talk about technology and education related to future of students, we are talking about the practical and the purposeful application of scientific knowledge for the welfare of our students. So it ranges from robotics, artificial intelligence, the blockchain networks, computer simulations, etc. and etc. Now we need to find out ways in which we can do so. There are numerous ideas on its way to shape the future of education. And this is not a future of falling enrollments, financial challenges, and aging campuses. Technology can help students by making learning more engaging and collaborative, and this is what our esteemed panel today here is to talk about. So I, Vishakha Gupta, Principal, Beacon High School and Junior College, Pune, welcome you on this platform. And I have Mrs. Vamshri Priya Amar, who is the principal of MJV International School. She has 24 years of experience in the field of education sector. So I think both of us here on this panel have the same experience. Vamshi ma'am, it's a pleasure meeting you. Vamshi Priya ma'am. And as a motivator and mentor, she has a vast experience in teaching as well as administration of reputed schools in Bangalore. So Bangalore as it's called now, a quick thinker with a positive outlook who prioritizes the need of the organization over personal goals. I think that is what all principles are made up of. This is the metal that all principles have. She believes that excellence is the prevailing positive attitude of human being. As a resource person of CBSE, training both offline and online through Center of Excellence, she's completed 450 virtual trainings. Kudos to you, ma'am. And in the past, she has trained teachers in project-based learning and my question to you, ma'am, is how does technology help to develop basic skills? Vamshi Priya, ma'am,
Yes,
over
ma'am.
to
Thank
you.
you so much for that introduction. And it's a pleasure being here. I thank the organizers for inviting me here. Somewhere in between, I think I lost the connect because you were not quite audible. If I understand, you're asking me to tell how exactly technology is empowering the skills in child. Am I right? That's the gist I get from the question. Vishaka ma'am, is that right? Because there has been a glitch and you're not audible, ma'am. Vishaka ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible and you're absolutely on the right path. Please proceed. We are there to listen to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bhavna. Thank you so much for that. Basically, what I feel is like the way Sandeep sir just introduced, technology acts as a facilitator. When we were in the pandemic for the last 2 years, in unprecedented times, teachers were really worked up and students were worked up. We all tried to do our own R&Ds at the right at the beginning, research and development to learn which platform really enhances the learning and keeps the learning going on. That's how we tried. And somewhere down the lane, the term computer savvy, I am not a computer savvy. The negative antenna was totally removed from the school system, I think, because each one of us got into a conducive environment and started really working on our skills, and we tried to empower our own self. So when we say teachers could do empowering themselves and feel protected and say that yes, no technology can really make us, redundant, and we are the facilitators. I'm sure when teachers have acquired this, even students would really be empowered. Now, skills, when I say, we are all talking about 21st century skills. The 21st century skills talks about the learning skill, the literacy skill, as well as life skills. So this particular technology, what I feel, has instilled that kind of life skills in children. That means, first of all, they've tried to become self-aware, have done their own SWOT analysis in understanding their strengths and weaknesses, the opportunities and threats, if at all they do not empower themselves, what they would be falling into. But of course, it was facilitated, it was hand-holded by the teachers, and I'm sure once personalized learning has been instilled in children, they have become independent learners, and it is automized what is called as differentiated instruction in a class. The children who were to be completely, if the class is full according to the CBSE, if we had around 40 children in a class, I'm sure the last benchers wouldn't have got the kind of attention which now has become a personalized learning, and children have started working in a flipped classroom, in a blended classroom, to improvise their own skills. So they have started to analyze and become more self-aware children, or I would say self aware budding leaders. So, that is the first skill, and that is a very important skill which is required in the present scenario as a 21st century skill. And when I say about differentiated instruction, again, I would like to bring into classroom where we have differently abled children. And when it is a differently abled children in a classroom, it becomes very difficult for a teacher to get connected to each and everyone in the limited time constraint where she or he has to convert that classroom teaching learning transformation. In that case, this particular technology and integration of technology in various disciplines have motivated both extrinsically and intrinsically in children, developing invariably enormous amount of skills, be it observation, be it listening, be it self-learning, be it self-evaluating, progressing, problem solving, decision making, or collaborative learning, or probably even cooperative learning. Sometimes it did happen that peers got together and they tried to help one another. So there was a lot of values also which is incorporated. Obviously, children are children. There could be some kind of derailing which is happening, in terms of privacy or probably getting into that tantrums and other things. I think as elders, we all need to overlook this and try to bring them online. This is what I have to say about the skills. I don't know where to start from skills and end, because it is an ocean of skills that children have learned, be it gamification also, right? That is from my side, Vishaka ma'am. Hope I was audible and it was clear.
Vamshi ma'am, thank you so much. We understand technology has brought us together, but there are certain drawbacks to technology. The network drops. Can you hear me? Am I audible? These are very regular things. So all those set aside, amazing set of points put together about the SWOT analysis, about the personalized learning, the flipped classroom, becoming more self aware, instilling of life skills, budding leaders, differentiated learning, and different life skills instilled through learning. Amazing, ma'am. That was a sea of knowledge that you put together in those few minutes when you spoke. Wonderful, and we're really thankful that you spoke about the importance of the incorporation of technology for the next gen of students, because there are so many unwanted, unknown situations in life that are occurring and that will be occurring in the future. And we need to, as teachers, as educators, prepare our children for the unknown, which I guess all of us are doing beautifully well. And with that, I would like to move on to our next speaker, who's equally abled, like Vamshri ma'am, Dr. Sangeeta Arora. Dr. Sangeeta Arora is the principal of Kothari International School, Noida, with more than 30 years of experience in the field of education. An alumna of Andhra School, New Delhi, Dr. Arora completed her graduation and master's in mathematics from the Delhi University. She is a natural leader and a motivated leader. She continuously strives to keep abreast of the latest research and technology that is in the market so that she can keep her students equally empowered. She is associated with NCRT, CBSE, IGNOU in various capacities and authored numerous papers and books. Ma'am, it's an absolute pleasure and honor to have you amongst us. And as a spontaneous person with a disarming sense of humor, she loves the outdoors adventure. So, as a principal with an alarming sense of humor, my goodness, I would love to learn that from you. And loving outdoors and adventure, I invite you on this platform with a question, that is, how will this technology empower students to control their own learning? Over to you, Sangeeta ma'am.
Namaskar, Vishata ji, and thank you so
Hi,
much
Sangeeta
for
ma'am.
such a lovely introduction. And I feel privileged to be on this panel with eminent educationist over here, and to discuss about the question that you have put that to me regarding how to empower, how the children are empowered in their learning through the technology. I would like to say you are empowered when you have the right to choose. So the technology gives this right to the children that they now have the power to choose how they want to move ahead. That means how they can design their own learning, and they can set up their own goals. We all are aware of it. There is a synchronous and asynchronous, way of learning. They can join it together, so at their own time, how they want to do it, when do they want to give the exam when they're ready, because in the asynchronous learning, most of us, we have done the MOOC courses, and when they are available, they can pick up their course from from best of the universities, and they can choose up the duration. They can decide whether they want to do it in 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or they can complete in the way they want to complete it out. Another thing is that the pace of the learning that they decide, it will not depend upon the regular class. When they are in the regular class, as the teacher is moving, the student will also move. But with the help of the technology, they can move faster. They can uh, you know uh, choose their own assessment how they want to give it, and this is something which empowers the children in a you know a very in a very amazing manner. Now another thing which which helps the children, which empowers them, is the sharing the differences to improve. Now, one of the panelists before me said differentiated learning. Now, in this, when we are saying differentiated learning, technology plays a greater role over here. Now, they can choose their own content, and once they cross it, they can move on to the different content, and the teacher, as such, In a traditional classroom, we all as a teacher we choose the average and then we teach. But when we use technology, the children will get that power to move from the way that they want to move from, in a differentiated manner. And also they don't have to learn from the teacher, they can learn from the environment, from the community, and they can learn from each other. They can meet each other. Now right now we are all meeting each other through technology, we're sharing our ideas and learning from each other. Now this is again, I'm you are hearing my point of view, I'm able to hear your opinions, and in that there is a learning. So that, as you also mentioned, the collaboration which is coming into it, that really helped, and that comes through the technology. That is another thing which is helping the children, and I would say this empowering, when you can collaborate with whom you want to collaborate, when you want to collaborate, if you can decide all these things, that really helps. Now, another thing through technology is, that is, I would say, the empowerment is that many of the children, they are learning and they want to showcase what we have learned. So they are able to put it up on the social media, and I've seen the different videos which the children are putting it up. In my school only, there is one child, she is very good in animation, and believe me, she is right now in class 7, and she has done such good animation, she has learned it on her own. That animation, we if we in the traditional setup, it could have been done after the school that you are going, and she has done it through the technology only. And after learning, it's not that she has kept it to herself, she has showcased that skill of hers through the social media. She's put it up on YouTube, and she has so many subscribers. So that is another thing, that even if a child is and shy, and they're not able to express themselves, they get another tool to express themselves. Changing the student teacher ratio, that is another thing. The student who wanted to have through a one-to-one interaction with the teacher, and in the population like us in India, where it is simply not possible, but the technology makes it possible. So again, I'm saying that these things which, when the students used as per their choice, as per their own thinking, that empowers. So empowering, I'm again repeating, empowering means getting a choice, and in technology gives a choice to the student to learn in their own way, to express in their own way, and also to assess themselves in their own way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. My pencil did not stop. My hand was continuously writing notes of the wonderful tips that you had. So I would just love to read out what you all told us. And when you have the right to choose, you're empowered. Wonderful. It's such a brilliant thought that when you can actually choose, you are empowered, because then your decision, your skill of making a choice, your critical thinking of making a choice comes into picture. And these life skills are so wonderfully required, more than our education. I guess all the principals sitting here would agree with me that whatever we studied in books, we are using a certain percentage of it, but the life skills that we acquired, we are using them 200% in life. The life skills that were instilled in us through our parents, through our teachers, is being used 200%. Set up their goals, join in together, then leave and pick at choice, because that is the advantage technology gives. Choice of duration, then the pace of learning will be, the children can have a choice in that. It will be different for different people. Choose at their own assessments, their own pace, their own time, their own learning likes and dislikes, their own learning aesthetics. Then, whom to collaborate, when to collaborate. Empowerment means getting a choice. Learn, express, and assess at their own pace. Amazing. The kind of points you had, ma'am, about technology. It is really a learning pleasure. And with that, I would also like to say technology by itself doesn't make leaders. Technology only amplifies true leadership. And I guess whatever you were saying is summed up by this quote. Moving on to another great leader, Dr. Lena Francis. Dr. Lena Francis, a well rounded educator for the last 28 years in various disciplines for the Indian school system in Oman, currently working as a principal of Indian School at Al Seed. She was the recipient of the Certificate of Excellence recognition of meritorious services rendered to the students at the Indian School in Oman. The Certificate of Appreciation by the Ministry of Education for the efforts and contribution to high achievements of students. The Certificate of Appreciation by the Ministry of Education for a presentation of performance appraisals of teachers. And she is a passionate learner and leader, also a great trainer. Ma'am, my question to you, and that would also help me learn a lot, would be why is technology important in early childhood education? Over to you, Lena, ma'am.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, let me once again thank in every panelist and organizers for taking up such an innovative topic that is technology. As we all know, we are all coming back to our school, a physical class. So we are all leaders thinking about how well we can incorporate and then continue utilizing the technology in the best way. When it comes to early child education, we are handling, or let me put up my point, maximum with the age group of say 3 to 6 years. It is definitely, technology definitely used to increase access to learning opportunities for all students. All of us know about it. But it also can be used to strengthen the relationship among the parents, the families, early educators, and the young children. This is where the importance of my topic, or rather the question what was asked to me, is coming up. Technology in education provides virtual attendance. We can give live chat, can be given, as well as face-to-face communication with the teachers and students in the real time. Yes, having said all this, now embracing technology as a way to enhance children's learning. There are so many amazing apps, programs, and devices that can help to bring ideas to life. Anyone that has seen a child handle an iPad like an absolute pro would understand that little ones can learn how to use new technology very quickly. So let us take the case of interactive screens and smart boards. They are much useful for them because these allow them to write on the screen, which help their fine motor skills and to develop an understanding of language. The screens can be used for fun math games, matching games, or to help children recognize words as they begin to read. Here comes the importance of these little ones, how well they are able to utilize this technology. They also find these interactive whiteboards are so useful to engage the children and hold their attention while they teach. You know, the attention span of younger ones are very, very challenging for every teacher. So then these kind of technology, these apps, and then this say be it iPads or then the interactive panels, etc., definitely enhance the learning process, I should say. Now, this type of technology appeals to children who are visual learners, as well as those that need the hands-on approach in order to learn. Then let us move on to the another type, that is iSandbox. Recently, I came across such kind of technology, that's an iSandbox, which is a large table filled with sand. And augmented reality technology means that when the children form the sand into a pile, and then the sensors pick this up and then project an image of a mountain or a volcano onto it. It is something amazing. And then I have seen the children are so engrossed in doing this. Another point which I would like to say is about the handheld devices. Children are very tactile and then they are fast learners also. Hand a child any digital device and you know how fast, how quickly they'll take it up. So we can also use technology such as digital cameras to extend a child who is interested in a project. Be it there in a KG, a lower KG or KG1 or KG2, I'm sure these kind of tools will definitely they'll be motivated for learning further. The concentration span increases. And again, we can also think about iPads. And I'm not calling out all the devices, but I just want to take up the next topic, that is on the safety and communication. Yes, when we speak about this, the safety is also an important factor. But however, there are certain apps, for example, Story Park or Explore Home and Kinderloop, etc., etc. These are some of the apps for the parents, so that they know that the students are or the little ones are safe. Now, another program which was initiated in Australia, that is ELLA, that is Early Learning Language Australia. This is the beauty of this one is that the program itself is a digital land and completely play based. It's completely free for for us for the children to use, and then it comes with a choice of so many languages. It's said that it's good if the kids are exposed to various kind of languages at this formative years. Now let's just talk about exactly what is happening in the preschool. They can also record the students stories about the drawings or the play, make digital audio or the video files to document their progress. I'm sure if this technology were not utilized last 2 years when the pandemic was in its onset, it could have been a big challenge for any of the school, any of the teacher to continue the learning process for these little ones. But I'm sure we all have taken up in the best way, and we started utilizing one after the other in a very very judicious way. Explore the digital storytelling with children, co-create digital books with the photos of the children's play work, and I'm sure they all will enjoy it. And there are various ways of looking into this. Having said all this, I just wanted to say that it's so important that how creatively we are utilizing these devices, because end of the day, no technology can replace any teacher. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was so engaging and involving. And I guess whatever you've said, I can just put it in a few words to say that it is the framework which changes with each technology, not just the picture within the framework. So you spoke about the digital land of Australia. You spoke about recording stories, recording plays, recording poems, drawings, etc. You spoke about the digital storytelling, and yes, the pandemic. The pandemic was one big challenge, which we educators said, no worries. We leave the doors and the windows of our house open and let the children have a peep into our drawing rooms. But then the education would continue. And this baton was lifted by each one of us along with our teams, and we successfully went ahead with it, all because we held the hand of technology. So, as ma'am very rightly said, that we are supposed to use our devices very, very creatively, and we'll be able to do wonders in our class. And with hybrid learning, which is the talk of the town, the need of the hour, this we do not need to change the frame that it is, but we also need to change the picture within the frame. The picture within the frame was only the blackboard chalk and duster, the chalk and talk method. But now, with the blended learning, with the technology coming in, is a different colorful picture altogether, and we can take children to a fanciful world and make the learning in bring about the learning in a beautiful, beautiful way. Thank you so much, ma'am, for those insights. And I move on to Dr. Gaurav. Very short and sweet, I would talk about him because more than his introduction, I would love to listen to him and his expertise. Dr. Gaurav is the principal of Baba Shravannath Senior Model School, Kurukshetra, Haryana. And the question that I have for you, sir, is what are the benefits of technology for the children? Over to you, Gaurav, sir. Dr. Gaurav? Dr. Gaurav, can you please hear me? Okay, we are not able to connect to Dr. Gaurav. Bhavna, ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much. We're so used to technology, so the thumbs up. Wonderful. That's a great example. So we will come back to Gaurav, sir, once again. In the meantime, I would like you all to be introduced to Dr. Bhavna Chibar. I believe that she is a great learner and she believes greatly in learning. Each and every moment of her life's journey as an educator has been like a precious gem. She is the principal of Laburnum Public School, Gurugram, and this is her 24th year. So, ma'am, I guess both of us share the equal number of experiences. For you and for me, it's the 24th year of our working in the field of education. A few of her achievements, she has plenty. I would just read out a few. Please excuse me for that. She's been a school leader, a curriculum designer, a subject matter specialist, an eloquent speaker, which I'm so wanting to hear you. She's an author. She's a cybersecurity expert. My goodness, the list is endless. A trainer with CBSE, which also I am, NCRT and the Oxford University Press. She's an edupreneur because if she's the founder and CEO of Skill Labs India and ACE Coacher. She is a recipient of many district, national, and international awards, and she has a vision to educate personals which can change the world as they are brimming with confidence and are sure of making the right moves. So, ma'am, my question to you is how can educators combine technology with other tools to grow learning? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vishakaji, and namaskar to everyone. I consider myself as co-learner, and I always say that I'm a learner, and whatever I'm learning, I'm just sharing with you all. So, your question, I believe, hello,
Yes, ma'am.
Vishakaji, can you please repeat the question? Uh,
Sure, I would. How can educators combine technology with other tools to grow learning?
Thank you so much. I have just actually the idea behind asking you this question is that we are already doing this. I just start with this one quote: technology and learning, the two terms of analogy, wherein the collaboration or the elaboration is technology. This is what is the simple answer. And I believe that herein we are just not helping. We all have heard one proverb called that if you give a man a fish, you will feed him for a one single meal. But if you teach him how to fish, you will help him to do this thing throughout. Eat his full stomach, every fish in the pond, and then be relaxed. So, this is what the role of the technology is, that you have to learn. I'll give you four L's today. That is, let learning lead life. Let's learning lead life. When you think that the learning can help us, and this is what I always say, that self learning. My co-panelist, beautiful Vamshri and Sangeeta ma'am and Dr. Lena, they all have shared the same thing, that technology has given us so many interface, so many advantages. We are trying to build that differentiated learning, inclusive education, and this is what NEP talk about. Tools. NEP says STEM education. NEP talk about interdisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary approach, integrated curriculum. And this is where technology is there. Being a computer science teacher, even I have started a curriculum, an integrated curriculum, ICT curriculum for my students in my school, wherein I have project based learning, wherein the English, mathematics, SST all are combined with ICT. So we need to groom our learners in such a way, because ICT is a skill. It's a technology. It's a tool which will give you a kind of a silver spoon to have your food in a very effective manner. So this is how you have to empower your educators. That's why we all emphasize on continuous professional development. The simple answer is that the technology has to be combined with the pedagogy to grow learning. Technology allows scaling up and expanding the reach of what one committed teacher can do. I repeat, what one committed teacher. It is all about. We all are the leaders. We have seen there are few teachers, those who start cribbing that, ma'am, it is very difficult. It is very difficult. We can't learn. But there are some teachers who says, okay ma'am, I've learned this, for mathematics I've learned GeoGebra also. So it is, and it to explain in my social science, ma'am, I have learned the C map. I've completed this course and I've learned the C map and I'm using mind map, and I've told my students to use this tool. So this is how you can get this benefit. You can integrate tools, and I believe there is uh, no I if you are have this I believe uh, Vamshriya ma'am has just now spoken about, that they give that personalized learning atmosphere, and it is for everyone. For me, because I consider that the teacher is always a learner who is just sharing her learning or his or her learning with the other learners. So this is what the teacher is doing. So I believe I just say two lines in Hindi if you all are able to understand Hindi. This is what I believe. uh, विकास के खुले आसमानों में चलो खुद को ले चले। विकास यहाँ मैं संबोधित कर रही हूँ टेक्नोलॉजी को लेकर। विकास के खुले आसमानों में चलो हम खुद को ले चले, खुद भी तरक्की करें और देश आगे बढ़े। कुछ नया कर दिखाने की चाह लिए निकल पड़े हम सबको पैनलिस्ट। आज इस संदर्भ में कह रही हूं मैं, निकल पड़े हम एक नई राह लिए। एंड थैंक्स टू दिस प्लेटफॉर्म, संदीप, थैंक यू, एंड थैंक यू सो मच टू विशाखा for introducing me, and thanks. I believe I've able to answer your question.
Ma'am, you've done it wonderfully well. And I guess with the August gathering I hear, I feel myself a learner. I'm learning from each one of you. And I think we should never stop learning. And my pencil isn't finding a pause because each one
Obviously.
has such beautiful points to share, such beautiful gems of knowledge to deliver that my pencil doesn't stop and I have points. So, ma'am, what I have learned from you is then technology and learning are two terms of the analogy. Collaboration is the key word. Yes, the story that we say, the analog that we go by, the teacher give a man a fish and he would have it for one day. Teach him how to fish, and he would never sleep hungry, is something very, very relevant for technology. You just give it to them, they would not learn. But once you make them interested, once you hook them into technology, I guess they would love it. Once they realize how it is so very useful and it can be so effectively used for our future. Children are so good at it. Teach me how to, when I sit and do scratch, I say, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And a
uh,
third grader comes and tells me,
Vishaka
ma'am,
ma'am,
this is.
am I audible?
Yes, you are, ma'am.
But you are not audible to me.
Okay. Can the others hear me, please? Yes, they can. So,
Okay,
ma'am,
fine. Let
possibly
me
again
rejoin. There
technology.
is some problem.
Technology. So maybe
Let me
my
rejoin.
voice reaches you a little late. No worries. So as I said, that ma'am spoke about the silver spoon. Technology is that silver spoon which gives the nutrition, but at the same time, we need to have that word of caution that technology is also a double-edged sword. We need to use it with high caution. When we introduce technology at school, at home, we need to use it very carefully. I would like to add that there. And yes, विकास के खुले आसमानों में चलो, खुदा ले चलो, खुद तरक्की करो और आगे बढ़ो. Bhavna ma'am, wonderful lines. Thank you so much. And I would like to sum up what you said by saying any sufficiently advanced technology is distinguishable from magic. Yeah. So I guess
Yeah.
any technology that we introduce is magic that we are giving in the hands of the children. But yes, with a word of caution that it is like a double-edged sword, and we need to take care of the negatives, but the positives are wonderful. I would like to come back to Gaurav sir. Gaurav sir, can you hear me? Sir, you are on mute. Sir, you are again on mute. Please unmute yourself. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh,
Gaurav, sir, can you hear
thank you,
me?
ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
as I was saying, that Gaurav sir has a long list of achievements. My goodness, it is a pleasure to be knowing you, sir. Sir is the principal of Baba Shravan Nath Senior Model School, Kurukshetra, Haryana. And my straight question to you, and my learning begins again with you here when I say, what are the benefits of technology for children? We've just spoken about it being a double edged sword. So let's talk about the learnings, the benefits of technology for children. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good afternoon to all of you. जो मेहनत करते हैं वो विश्वास रखते हैं, जो मेहनत करते हैं वो विश्वास रखते हैं, सफल वही होते हैं जो प्रयास करते हैं। तो आज के इस वेबिनार में मैं आप सबका स्वागत भी करता हूं और मैम का धन्यवाद करता हूं कि उन्होंने मुझे आपसे परिचित करवाया। टेक्नोलॉजी ने तो जो है कोरोना टाइम में या कोरोना टाइम से पहले देखो, लेकिन मैं स्पेशली कोरोना टाइम की बात करूंगा कि इसने जो है कहीं ना कहीं एक ऐसा रेवोल्यूशन ला दिया है जिससे हम लोग भी घबरा गए हैं। और इसलिए घबरा गए हैं क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी ने बहुत सारे बच्चों को जो है ना जो लिटरेचर से या प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट से जो एजुकेशन का होता है, या अगर हम ये कहते हैं स्कूल में कि बच्चों को अगर अच्छे संस्कार देने हैं तो स्कूल में आना जरूरी है। अगर बच्चों को हम प्रैक्टिकली कुछ सिखाना चाहते हैं तो उसके लिए क्लास में आना जरूरी है। तो उन चीजों से इस टेक्नोलॉजी ने दूर कर दिया है। लेकिन क्योंकि हम बेनिफिट्स की बात कर रहे हैं और एक सिक्के के दो पहलू होते हैं, एक पॉजिटिव एक्सपेक्ट होता है, एक नेगेटिव एक्सपेक्ट होता है। क्योंकि हम यहाँ पॉजिटिव एक्सपेक्ट की बात कर रहे हैं तो मैं यहाँ पर ये कहना चाहूंगा कि पॉजिटिव एक्सपेक्ट के अंदर यदि मैं फर्स्ट पॉइंट को लेता हूँ तो कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन अगर शेयर करनी है तो एक तो उसका एक अच्छा वे है टेक्नोलॉजी। लेकिन एक चीज मैं आप सबको बताना चाहूंगा, आप सबको इस बारे में पता भी होगा कि टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करनी है ये सब बताते हैं, लेकिन यूज कैसे करनी है ये कोई नहीं बताता। इसके बारे में सरकार ने भी अभी तक नहीं सोचा है, लेकिन बच्चों को हम सिखा रहे हैं, पढ़ा रहे हैं, समझा रहे हैं। और उन्हें खासतौर पर जो स्लो लर्नर होते हैं, या अगर हम कई प्रकार की एजुकेशन होती है, फॉर्मल, नॉन फॉर्मल, इनफॉर्मल, इंक्लूसिव, इंटीग्रेटेड, कई प्रकार की एजुकेशन हो गई है। सब प्रकार के बेनिफिट के लिए हम टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सही मायने में बहुत कम बच्चों को पता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल सही मायने में करना कैसे है। अगर फोर्थ का बच्चा है, फिफ्थ का बच्चा है, हम उसे टूल्स पढ़ा रहे हैं, टेक्निक्स पढ़ा रहे हैं, हम उससे लर्निंग करवा रहे हैं, हम उसे प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपेक्ट उसके बारे में बता रहे हैं, हम उससे एग्जाम्पल्स के बारे में बता रहे हैं, एक्टिविटी बेस्ड लर्निंग के बारे में बता रहे हैं, कई चीजों के बारे में बता रहे हैं। लेकिन एक्चुअल मायने में अगर आप देखो तो टेक्नोलॉजी का सबसे पहला बेनिफिट है क्विक इंफॉर्मेशन एक्सचेंज, यानी बहुत जल्दी जो है कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन हम उसको चेंज करते हैं, एक्सचेंज करते हैं। सेकेंडली यदि मैं बात करूं तो इसका एक सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट वो है बेसिक स्किल्स का, डेवलपिंग बेसिक स्किल्स का। बेसिक स्किल्स में बेसिकली जो स्टूडेंट होते हैं या जो बच्चे होते हैं, अब उन्हें अगर सिखाना है तो एक्टिविटी के माध्यम से, गेम के माध्यम से, या बेसिकली और छोटे छोटे एग्जाम्पल्स के माध्यम से हम उन्हें सिखाते हैं। लेकिन आप ये देखिए कि जो छोटे बच्चे या प्राइमरी के जो बच्चे होते हैं उनके लिए काफी बेनिफिशियल होती है, क्योंकि वो जो चीज सुनकर देखकर सीखते हैं, एक्टिविटी से सीखते हैं, वो हम लिटरेचर के माध्यम से या लेक्चर देख के नहीं पढ़ा सकते। ठीक है, तो इसलिए बेसिक स्किल्स काफी जो है बच्चों की क्लियर होती हैं। और लैंग्वेज की बात करें तो कई प्रकार की लैंग्वेजेस टेक्नोलॉजी से सीखने को मिलती है, चाहे वो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज हो या अनदर लैंग्वेज हो, फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज है, और कई प्रकार की लैंग्वेजेस हैं जिससे उनकी बेसिक स्किल्स तो है वो काफी डेवलप होती है। एक और चीज की मैं बात करूं कि टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज कोई भी करता है तो वो वही करता है जो सोशल होता है। ठीक है, सोशल अगर कम होता है तो वो ज्यादा हो जाता है, धीरे धीरे उसका सोशल एरिया जो है वो बढ़ जाता है और सोशल एक्सपेक्ट उसका मजबूत होता है, और उसको ये भी पता लगता है कि सोसाइटी में हो क्या रहा है। तो सोशलाइजेशन की अगर हम बात करें तो समाज के अंदर हर प्रकार के जो वर्ग हैं, हर प्रकार के जो लोग रहते हैं, उनका जो समाज के प्रति सोच है, उनकी जो थिंकिंग है, किसी भी राजनीतिक पार्टी के प्रति थिंकिंग है, या हमारे देश के हर लॉ के प्रति उनका क्या रवैया है, क्या उनका उसके प्रति विचार है,
वो सारी चीजें हमारे को टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से मिलती हैं। आज टेक्नोलॉजी इतनी एडवांस हो गई है कि एक रिक्शे वाला भी को भी पता है, चाय वाले को भी पता है कि मेरे राइट्स क्या है और मैंने किसको वोट डालना है। तो ये सब चीजें जो है ये टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से ही पता लगती हैं। और आप देखिए सुबह अगर कोई एक कानून बना है तो वो शाम तक हर आदमी को पता होता है। क्यों? क्योंकि इसका तरीका क्या है? टेक्नोलॉजी एक सबसे बड़ा जरिया है। और टेक्नोलॉजी का प्रयोग करने के माध्यम से अगर हम ये देखें तो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी हैं या हमारी जो स्टेट में जो गवर्नमेंट काम कर रही है वो किस तरह से काम कर रही है, ये सब चीजें जो हैं सोशलाइजेशन के माध्यम से ही, इन चीजों के माध्यम से ही जो है हमें पता लगती हैं। लेकिन एक बात है, वो क्या है? समाज में बहुत कुछ बदल रहा है, बहुत कुछ चेंज हो रहा है, लोगों की सोच बदल रही है, बच्चों की सोच बदल रही है। तो उन सोच के साथ समाज की सोच कितनी बदल रही है, या अगर हमें बदलनी है तो किस तरीके से बदलनी है। अब कोरोना समय ने बहुत लोगों की सोच को बदला है, ठीक है। टीचर्स बेचारे, टीचर्स को तो मैं सबसे बड़ा कोरोना वॉरियर मानता हूँ, जबकि डॉक्टर्स को कहा गया है, हर डॉक्टर को सबसे बड़ा उसका कहा गया, लेकिन टीचर्स मुझे लगता है सबसे बड़ा कोरोना वॉरियर है, क्योंकि जितना उन्होंने झेला है शायद किसी ने नहीं झेला, और जितना प्रॉब्लम्स उनके सामने आई है वो शायद किसी के सामने नहीं आई है। तो मुझे लगता है कि सोशलाइजेशन जो है वो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है टेक्नोलॉजी का, और सोशली तरीके से ये हमें स्ट्रॉन्ग करता है। और बच्चों को भी पता लगता है कि हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के अलावा बाहर एजुकेशन सेक्टर में क्या हो रहा है, समाज में क्या हो रहा है, किस जगह पर क्या स्पेशलिटी है। अब बेंगलुरु की बात करें या किसी और स्टेट की बात करें तो वहां पर एजुकेशन सेक्टर में क्या हो रहा है, किस तरीके से हो रहा है, कैसे वो टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज कर रहे हैं, तो इन सब चीजों के बारे में हमें टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से ही पता लगता है। और एक और एक्सपेक्ट जो मैं ये कहूँ कि टेक्नोलॉजी ने हर इंसान को इंडिपेंडेंट बना दिया है। जो एक इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट है वहां पर, टेक्नोलॉजी ने हर बच्चे को इंडिपेंडेंट बना दिया है। वो टीचर के उसमें या कोई लर्नर अगर उसको कुछ सिखाना चाहता है उसकी उसकी जरूरत नहीं है, तो वो उस टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करके जो है कहीं ना कहीं अपने लेवल पर अपने पैरों पर खड़ा होता है, क्योंकि उसने कमाना भी सीख लिया है, उसने सीखना भी सीख लिया है। यानी कहने का मतलब है कि उस वो बच्चा जो है, स्टूडेंट की अगर हम बात करें तो वो एक इंडिपेंडेंट जो है धीरे धीरे टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करके बनता जा रहा है। और उस इंडिपेंडेंट बनने के कारण कहीं ना कहीं वो अपना खुद का खर्चा जो है वो उठा पा रहा है। अब बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो पढ़ नहीं पाते, बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो पढ़ नहीं पाते, या उनका जो लक्ष्य होता है, जो उनका करियर है वो नहीं बन पाता। वो इस उसमें टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत यूजफुल है, कहीं ना कहीं इतनी यूजफुल है कि कहीं ना कहीं वो अपने करियर को बना सकता है इस टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करके। अब देखो आप लोग घर बैठे भी आजकल ऑनलाइन कितने काम चल रहे हैं, ठीक है। ऑनलाइन बहुत सारे काम ऐसे हैं जो घर बैठे भी आप कर सकते हैं, घर बैठे लर्निंग कर सकते हैं, घर बैठे अर्निंग कर सकते हैं। तो इस तरह की कई चीजें हैं जो आज की डेट में चल रही है। तो जो इंडिपेंडेंट है, आत्मनिर्भर बनना, कि खुद अपने पैरों पर खड़ा होना, तो वो चीज भी उस तरीके से भी अगर आप देखें तो टेक्नोलॉजी जो है यूजफुल है काफी। एक सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट जो मुझे यहाँ पर और एक डिस्कस ध्यान आ रहा है वो ये कि मैं और आप सब एजुकेटेड हैं, एजुकेशन लाइन से आप सब लोग जुड़े हुए हैं। तो आपका और मेरा जो रिलेशनशिप है, टेम्परेरी रिलेशनशिप जिसको कहते हैं हम, कुछ समय के लिए, जब तक मैं बात कर रहा हूँ और आप मेरी बात को सुन रहे हैं, या आप बोल रहे हैं और मैं सुन रहा हूँ, तो ये टेम्परेरी रिलेशनशिप है जिसमें कई प्रकार की इमेजिनेशंस भी होती हैं, कई प्रकार की कल्पना भी होती है कि विशाखा मैडम जो है वो इस तरह के होंगे, उनका जो स्टेटस है वो इस तरीके का होगा। वो मैडम आपके वे ऑफ टॉकिंग से पता लगता है कि आपका एक्सपीरियंस कितना वास्ट है, आपके वे ऑफ टॉकिंग से पता लगता है कि आप किस फैमिली से बिलोंग करते हैं। तो ये जो इमेजिनेशन मैं यहाँ कर पा रहा हूँ बैठे बैठे, और ये जो चीजें मैं सोच पा रहा हूँ, या एक टेम्परेरी रिलेशनशिप जो हम लोगों में बनता है, ये मुझे लगता है टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से ही है। और ये टेम्परेरी चीजें आने वाले टाइम में परमानेंट भी हो जाएंगी, क्योंकि जिस हिसाब से टेक्नोलॉजी की स्पीड चल रही है, और मुझे ये लगता है कि ये परमानेंट चीजें भी होने वाली हैं। और आने वाले समय में बस मैं एक चीज जरूर आप सबको कहूंगा कि टेक्नोलॉजी का जो यूज है वो हम अपने बच्चों को जरूर सिखाएं, लेकिन हमारे बच्चा जो स्कूल में पढ़ रहा है वो हमारे लिटरेचर से कभी दूर नहीं होना चाहिए। इस चीज की कोशिश हम हमेशा करें, क्योंकि जो नॉलेज लिटरेचर में है वो गूगल में नहीं है, ठीक है। तो आपका जो स्टूडेंट है वो लिटरेचर को कभी ना छोड़े, इस चीज का जरूर ध्यान रखें, क्योंकि लिटरेचर छूट गया तो हमारी जमीन तो है ही नहीं, हम तो हवा में हैं, और हवा का आदमी कभी भी गिर सकता है। इसलिए हम लिटरेचर को कभी ना छोड़ें, टेक्नोलॉजी को पकड़ें, अच्छी बात है, मॉडर्निटी को भी हमने एक्सेप्ट किया है, हमने वेस्टर्न कल्चर को एक्सेप्ट किया है, हम टेक्नोलॉजी को भी एक्सेप्ट करने जा रहे हैं और धीरे धीरे उसमें और इन्वॉल्वमेंट हमारी बढ़ती जा रही है। इसलिए मेरी आप सबसे गुजारिश, क्योंकि आप सब एजुकेशनिस्ट हैं, एजुकेशन के लाइन से जुड़े हैं, आप अपने बच्चे को लिटरेचर से पकड़ के रखें, लिटरेचर ना उसका छूटे बच्चे का। क्योंकि अगर बच्चे को भगत सिंह के बारे में नहीं बताया, अगर बच्चे को हमने चंद्रशेखर आजाद के बारे में नहीं बताया, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो बच्चा जो है वो उसकी जो एक बेस है उसका वो नहीं बन पाएगा। इसलिए हम बच्चे की सोच को बदलें, बच्चे को बदलें, अच्छी बात है, लेकिन जो हमारा लिटरेचर है ना, जो हमारा इतिहास जिसमें लिखा हुआ है कि उसका किसी भी चीज का बेस क्या था, वो चीज नहीं छूटनी चाहिए। तो बेनिफिट्स इसके अनगिनत हैं, लेकिन एजुकेशन में देखें या स्किल्स में देखें, कई प्रकार के बेनिफिट, बहुत बेनिफिट्स। मैं इसको जब इस टॉपिक को मैं स्टडी कर रहा था तो मैंने देखा इसका कोई अंत ही नहीं है बेनिफिट्स का, लेकिन मैंने ये देखा लॉस का भी कोई अंत नहीं है। लेकिन एक सबसे बड़ी बात क्या है, वो ये कि टेक्नोलॉजी बेनिफिट्स के लिए है, बच्चे के हर प्रकार के बेनिफिट्स के लिए है, चाहे वो फाइनेंशियली बेनिफिट्स हो, चाहे इंटेलेक्चुअल बेनिफिट्स हो, एकेडमिक बेनिफिट, हर प्रकार के बेनिफिट्स के लिए है। लेकिन आज की तारीख में इसका बेनिफिट्स बहुत कम हो रहा है, लॉस ज्यादा हो रहा है, क्योंकि प्रॉपर डायरेक्शन नहीं दी जा रही बच्चे को, प्रॉपर उस बच्चे को गाइड नहीं किया जा रहा है। ठीक है, अगर हर बच्चे को हर क्लास के हिसाब से उसके मेंटल लेवल के अकॉर्डिंग टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करने के संदर्भ में गाइड किया जाएगा, तो वो बच्चा ऐसा बच्चा बनेगा जो बच्चा हम चाहते हैं, जो देश के लिए, समाज के लिए यूजफुल होगा। ठीक है, आज का बच्चा क्या है, बम विस्फोट की तरह हम बना रहे हैं, जो करेगा या तो विकास करेगा, करेगा नहीं करेगा तो वो विनाश करेगा, दो प्रकार का हो रहा है। लेकिन हम कुछ इस तरीके से उसके उसके दिमाग में, उसके जहन में डालें कि वो बच्चा जिस प्रकार से भी डेवलप हो, वो थोड़ा सा विकास करे, लेकिन विकास करे। तो टेक्नोलॉजी जो है विकास की तरफ लेके जानी है हमने, इसका बेनिफिट सबसे बड़ा ये है, हमारे स्कूल का बच्चा बेनिफिट्स की उठाते हुए विकास की तरफ बढ़े। यही मेरा आज इस लेक्चर के माध्यम से आपको कहना था, क्योंकि बच्चे, मेरा बेटा छोटा है, फर्स्ट क्लास में है, वो उसको सारा मोबाइल चलाना आता है, आपके साथ अपनी फैमिली में भी ऐसा होगा, लेकिन उसको ये नहीं पता कि मैं इसका बेनिफिट कैसे उठाऊं। वो गेम खेल लेता है, सब कुछ कर लेता है, उसको वो इतना इंटेलिजेंट है, शायद जो है घर की लेडीज भी इतनी इंटेलिजेंट नहीं होगी। लेकिन वो बच्चा क्लास, जैसे जैसे उसकी क्लास बढ़ेगी वैसे वैसे उसका टेक्नोलॉजी का लेवल भी बढ़े, एजुकेशन का लेवल तो बढ़ता ही है, टेक्नोलॉजी का लेवल भी बढ़े और वो उसी तरीके से उसका यूज करे, ये चीज की कोशिश हमने करनी है। और वही मैं एक मैसेज जो आपको दे रहा हूँ बार बार, वो यही कि लिटरेचर से जोड़ के रखना है, लिटरेचर नहीं छोड़ना। अगर धरती छूट गई तो आसमान नहीं छू पाएंगे हम। ठीक है,
बिल्कुल
और
सर,
एक
गौरव सर जी,
जी,
गौरव
और
सर, अमेजिंग
एक
आपके थॉट्स हैं। और मैं आपको एक बात ये बताना चाहूंगी कि आजकल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरीज अवेलेबल हैं, जिसमें चंद्रशेखर आजाद और भगत सिंह और सारे
जी 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 जी
क्रांतिकारियों
जी,
की कहानियां भी मौजूद हैं, जिसे बच्चे डिजिटली सुन सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं। उनके
हाँ
वीडियोस
जी, हाँ जी, हाँ
ऑडियोज भी
जी।
मौजूद हैं। आप इस बात से बिल्कुल परेशान ना हो कि बच्चों का लिटरेचर से कनेक्ट छूट जाएगा। बट थैंक
जी
यू
जी
फॉर
जी,
योर अमेजिंग थॉट्स। और आपकी बातों पे सिर्फ एक ही बात कहना चाहूंगी कि टेक्नोलॉजी इज अ गिफ्ट ऑफ गॉड। After the rewards of life, it is possibly the greatest of God's gifts. It is the mother of civilizations, of art and sciences. Thank you so much, Gaurav sir. बहुत
थैंक यू
मजा
मैम,
आया,
थैंक यू,
बहुत धरती से जुड़ी हुई बातें आपने बोली और बहुत अच्छा लगा आपको जानकर, आपको सुनकर।
थैंक यू
Moving
मैम,
on,
थैंक यू वेरी
thank you, sir.
मच,
Thank you. Moving on,
थैंक यू
AP
मैम, थैंक यू।
Sharma, sir, are you able to hear me? AP Sharma, sir, are you able to hear me? Audiences, I
Yes, I
would
will
like to
be able
introduce.
to speak. I wish you people will be able to hear me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for the confirmation. So, I would introduce another dynamic personality to you, ladies and gentlemen, a teacher and inspirer with 30 plus years of experience, 24 great years as a principal, CBSE and national awardee, founder member of the Academic Council of Qatar, member in various committees of CBSE and SCRT for curriculum development. AP Sharma, sir, it is wonderful knowing you. And because of your experience, the question that I would like to put to you is, how does technology affect a child's imagination? Over to you, sir. Sharma, sir. Sharma sir, my question to you is, how does technology affect a child's imagination? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Sharma sir is traveling, so there are some connection issues. I would move on to another dynamic leader amongst us, Miss Sonia Nagpal. And once we are able to establish a connection with Sharma sir, we'll continue with him. She's a passionate and innovative leader, a goal driven educator. Miss Sonia has 2 decades of experience in teaching and leading schools affiliated to CBSE, ICSE, and the Cambridge Board. She is currently serving as the
Uh,
principal of Gitanjali Vedika School in Hyderabad. Under her principalship, Gitanjali Vedika has been ranked as the best emerging ICSE school in Hyderabad. She has been a panelist at the World Education Summit and a speaker at many prestigious conferences and panel discussions and webinars. Ms. Sonia Nagpal has completed her undergraduate specialization in education, followed by MA and MPhil degrees in English. Welcome, ma'am. And my question to you is, how does technology affect a child's development? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sonia ji, if you forgive me, can I speak before you?
Yes,
Sure,
sir.
Sharma sir, it would be a pleasure listening to you. We lost audio contact, so I
Yeah,
introduce Sonia, ma'am.
before I lose the connection for a minute.
Yes, sir.
So
Sure,
all
sure. I
the
guess
esteemed
Sonia ma'am
panelists,
didn't mind hearing you.
you are unable to hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
So yes. So basically, technology is not an enemy; it's a friend. And who is the god of technology? We are the god of technology. There were interesting discussions about literature and all. Everything is available. And if you think that mobile is very harmful and mobile is enemy, not at all. I think in coming days there will be constructive use of mobile as a powerful tool of humankind. And how we can integrate technology in education is very much important when we are talking about education 4.0 and education 5.0, where all those careers about which we can't predict, we can't imagine, are expected to come. So we should prepare our children technologically upgraded as well as in multiple skills, very well trained, so that they can survive in any era, any decade. That's very much important. Thank you so much. I think I will be happy to hear Sonia.
Thank you so much, sir. Although short and very sweet, but I think you were trying to say that technology does more than delight, entertain, and make our lives more convenient. It's also an agent of social good. That is why it is important for techs to stay informed and make the mark on technology, make an impact, and use it fruitfully. Over to you, Sonia ma'am. Sorry for cutting you short, but sir was traveling and he wanted to speak. Over to you.
I think his inputs were very short and sweet and extremely crisp. So, yeah, thank you, Vishaka ji and Sandeep, for inviting me. Now, like Vishaka ji, I would like to begin that Cambridge describes technology as the methods for using scientific discoveries uh, for practical purposes. Now, scientific discoveries were meant to better our lives, and certainly they have done that, right? And we cannot imagine our life today without technology. It's a life would be a hard nut to crack without technology. And like today's adults, today's kids are also inundated by technology. So we need to teach our children not to allow technology to be the masters, right? And of course, there are several benefits and several drawbacks of technology. I want to begin with a few benefits, like expression. Now, our children, for example, I will take the example in our school, they learn to make their own podcasts, they learn to express themselves. We also use audio messages. So some children may be shy, they don't want their video to be shown, so they want to communicate through their audio messages, audio clips. So whether it is sharing of thoughts or opinions or ideas, technology has made it possible. The second benefit is helping
us learn. So inclusive of the children and the adults, we all have learned. Now, I must share with you that when we were having the online classes, to make our classes more engaging and more immersive, we used to start our classes with something like spell bee, right? So that technology enabled that. Today also we start sometimes our classes with Wordle, right? So I'm an English teacher, so I'm giving those examples. So we start our classes like that. Once we have the attention of our children, we move further. Not only that, all of us during these times have learned to play musical instruments, to make recipes using YouTube. So it has helped all of us learn. Technology has also helped improve the mental skills. So whether playing the memory games or games to improve the attention span, or some of the apps which enhance the mathematical skills of the children, all have been used. We cannot deny the fact that technology helps us plan and organize better. We cannot fall short of words saying that when we use our Google Calendar to plan our entire week or month, how beneficial it is, or going to the various websites, how we are able to plan our things better. Definitely it makes our children future ready. So I was going through one of the reports by World Economic Forum, and it says that some of the skills which the companies are looking forward to in the future are communication skills, problem solving skills, and certainly technology helps children polish these skills. So whether it is communication skills, like we are able to connect with people who are abroad or in different locations. It does through games and various apps. They present problems to the children read the instructions and they act upon it, right? They know whether the solution was the right one or not, or they have to review where they went wrong and then try another time. So it does help them solve problems. Also, technology has allowed the children to taste the real life situation through simulation. So we have used apps like Nearpod, where some bit of oxygen, when it is combined with a little bit of hydrogen, how water is produced. Maybe in our online classes we were not able to interact with our children, but through the apps we were able to show our children how this can be done, how much of quantity needs to be added, and how we can create. um, Also, the technology helps enhance creativity through various apps. Also bonding with the community. I myself have attended so many webinars which were posted by organizations which were in Australia or England or US, and I think this was possible only through technology, and so have our students. So I think a lot of learning has happened and lot of bonding has happened, and we have actually crossed boundaries and become a bigger community. Maybe the globalization actually has happened. Certainly entertainment and the positive aspects of it. So whenever people feel low, they go to sites which inspire them. So short films which motivate people, we do suggest to the children. Inspiring movies, real true events, movies which we suggest to our children, through which our children can learn and get inspired. Of course, like I stated in the beginning, it has its own drawbacks. So spending too much of time on the screen limits the personal interaction. So maybe when they have troubles at home or in school, not being able to make a friend, not being able to cope up with a particular course, they just don't want to talk to people. They want to immerse themselves in technology, in games, in watching movies, and so on. So as it is, everybody is so occupied these days, people probably don't have time to talk and listen, not hear, listen. So I think the personal connect has reduced. social interaction has certainly reduced. Also, we find that because children are playing a lot of games and they are getting exposed to various elements of violence, sometimes they become very, very aggressive. So that is one of the negative impact. Also, because they are spending a lot of time on the screen, then they are not physically exercising, they are not going out in the nature. So when we tell the children that, protect our nature, there is climate change, you have to be the climate warriors, how can they be when they don't even go out in the nature, they don't enjoy nature? When you don't love something, then how can you protect something, right? So this is one thing which I wish to say. Also, them becoming obese, because sometimes children are just sitting in front of the screen watching TV or video games, and not how much food has been, and less of exercise. Certainly, there is attention span. So, Queensland University of Glasgow suggests that
Sonia ji, we've lost voice contact with you.
uh,
Yes, now we can hear you.
okay. So what I was saying was that Queensland University and University of Glasgow have found out that the attention span of children have reduced by 5 to 10 minutes. Also, we see that because children have no set boundaries about how much television they can watch, how long they can watch, they gradually become addicted, which in turn affects the sleep pattern, and also leads to reduced grades, the low grades that they have. So sometimes also we see, because they live in that seclusion, they feel lonely sometimes and they feel depressed. Also, we know of children who are experiencing cyberbullying or abuse by certain people when they go to the social media. So, all in all, I would like to conclude by saying that technology definitely empowers people. It has the potential, and it allows us to do what we wish to do. But I think we need, as adults, we need to monitor the screen time of our children, the content, and establish good habits in our children right from the beginning, so as to offset the negative aspects of technology. And that's what we need to do as adults. We need to train our children to use technology safely and choose. Thank
Thank you so much, Sonia ji. It was, very engrossing because you spoke about both aspects, the positive and the negative, and then the positives like using methods for using scientific discoveries, benefits, learning to make podcasts, audio messages, sharing of thoughts, helping learners, and inclusion. You spoke about the Wordle, playing instruments, recipes, etc. from YouTube, learning that during the pandemic time, improving mental skills, math skills, etc. You also spoke about planning and organizing through the Google Calendar, the future ready path that the students tread upon, the simulations that help students learn, unlearn, and relearn, the enhancement of creativity, and also you spoke about the drawbacks, which were not making friends, drawing back into a shell, into a cocoon, personal connect reduced, social interaction is reduced, violence has increased because they love to play those violent games on the internet, no physical exercises, and reduced attention span by the Glasgow University. Wonderful, wonderful it was. And I would like to sum it up by saying technology, like art, is a soaring exercise for the human imagination. It all depends on how we make use of it. And my last speaker for the day, last but not the least, a wonderful senior psychologist, a researcher for Brain Wonders, India's largest assessment and counseling organization. She's with this organization for 17 more than 17 years. She's won national awards. Oh my God, the list is endless. She has been with Brain Wonders, been revolutionizing the face of academic guidance, career development, and personal growth via the US patent DMIT and online psychometric tests. Brain Wonders has in fact transformed many lives of all age groups and has thus become a leading edtech organization. None other than I'm speaking about Miss Namrata Sinha. And because she is a senior psychologist and researcher, I have two questions that I will pose to her. Namrata Miss, please excuse me for doing that, but I have two questions that I would like to ask you,
Always
starting with
welcome.
thank you. Starting with the first, will all students be able to access and leverage this technology? I will speak out both my questions so that your flow of thought is not broken. And my second question to you is, how does technology align with my school's mission and vision statement? Over to
Yes.
you.
Wonderful questions from a very, very wonderful moderator, if I may say. So yes, let me take on the first question. I think when we talk about whether everyone can access the technology or not, the the importance or the significance, or let's say the value of technology, is making things accessible, making things affordable, making things reachable, right? And if we are not utilizing technology, or if technological innovations are not happening in that direction, then I think all of us here should take a look back at what we are actually doing. So for example, during the pandemic, we ourselves found ourselves in a situation where, we were just making all our assessments online, ensuring that the adaptability of the test is, seamless, in the way that the efficacy of an offline experience and an online experience remains. And why not only me, we have had the privilege of working with so many educators and so many schools during the pandemic itself, including many faces like yours. And we saw that the teachers themselves are, the teachers themselves are endeavoring to teach students in a way that they had themselves have not been taught before. They have not been trained in that particular way. They're adapting to the video classes, the Zoom meetings, at the same time typing, making endless presentations. So yes, I think technology has the aspect that the hallmark of a good technology is that it is accessible, or that it is benefiting mankind. Technology for me equals to innovation, and innovation basically means that you're doing something with some, bringing about some change which is ideally for the better of the greater good. So yes, I think technology should be made accessible for everyone. I think for a large scale it has already been implemented. Some of it has been done via a lot of government or public welfare programs, and a lot of it have also been done via, like I said, dedicated educators and dedicated psychologists, dedicated people of the community themselves. For one program that I myself have been very thankfully acquainted with is that, in a district in Punjab, in Sangrur, they had conducted career assessments for all the students of 8th to 10th grade. So that is how they have done it. And what the thing is that instead of ensuring the students come to the school, we grade the paper offline, we ask the student questions, they had made it online available on the tip of their phones. And that is something that everybody generally has these days. They had ensured that they imparted equal members, for ensuring that each and every district or each and every locality under the area is covered and the students are able to take their test. They were able to understand, what are their strengths, what are their areas that they need to work on, what are the career prospects that they have lined up for themselves. And actually, when you have a goal, when you have a finish line and vision, it is easier for you to motivate yourself and reach that finish line. And that is something that we were able to see in these students, right? So to make it even more, like, even I think Dr. Gaurav had put forward a point that how everybody has access of information at the tip of their fingers now, right? You don't need to wait for days and days and hours to understand where you're going and what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. It is something that is very accessible. The WhatsApp group, right? On WhatsApp group, you just post a question and you get instant answers, or at least sometimes it happens that I have seen that I don't even have to make an answer for somebody. Let's say a student has a question. I don't even need to answer. A student has themselves come and said, and okay, this is something that I can help you with. I think it is not just the fact that ease of information is there. It is more to do with the, how Dr. Sonia also said that, the social skills is something that we are also need to focus on. So while obviously certain kind of social skills can be developed by a technology, right? On the other hand, yes, certain types of social interactions have been restricted also due to technology. Like, let's say, face-to-face interaction, probably I will just drop a message to somebody rather than go and meet them in person. But I think that's about how we as educators, or we as leaders, or we as adults, simply as adults,
guide the students ahead. At the end, they can only learn what they can see, nothing more. That's what we have to understand as adults, and I think this applies to parents as well, very very strongly. That there. I think the second question that you asked was about the school's mission and vision, about how technology aligns with it. I think saying for all the schools so far that I have worked with, and I think all the schools in India at least, they value learning more than knowledge. It is, they value learning, they have valued growth, they had valued continuous evolution of the students who study there, of the teachers who teach there, of the system as well. We have been grateful to work with schools who have always been very open to see, okay, how else, how can we adapt the system into something that is even more beautiful and even more impactful than what it already is. I don't think I have worked with the people who have been afraid to have a discussion, who have been afraid to ask questions, who have been afraid to challenge certain things that that may seem outdated, or that may seem in a strict sense of upgrade. So I think what we need to understand is that whenever we talk about technology in the sense of a system, in that is, let's say in this case, an institution that is a school, we need to understand that it cannot apply to just one aspect, which is mostly the students. You can't we A lot of times we have, let's say for example, when we are doing our online sessions, or when we are taking a test online, we also have to talk to the parents, that see, this is how the report works in a PDF. If you click this, this is how it would go, this is how your careers will open up, and this is how the opportunities are lined up for your kid. This is how you need to plan for your child's future, and this is how you can gain that information, how we keep that information updated, how these are the top ranked careers, or how these are the top ranked colleges, etc etc, on what basis that ranking given. We can't just say that, okay, see, this is an online test and it's very good for students, your child can take it from the home and done. The parents are not really concerned with just ease of doing things. Results matter. So a lot of time when we talk about digital literacy, when we talk about adapting to an e world, if I could call it, we have to understand that we are dealing with the whole system. We are not dealing with just the students, that okay, there's a Zoom meeting, you that by that logic you don't even need Zoom meetings, right? You can just give recorded lectures and see the child while you're grading their papers. But no, we don't do that, right? We give the teachers also the time to adapt to certain challenges that they might face, to develop a way of teaching that is comfort. Every teacher teaches in their own way, and that is the kind of experience that each and every child gets. The sum total of all the experiences, I mean, I myself have changed 10 school over the years. So the sum total of all the experiences that all these wonderful teachers have impacted me with is who I am today. And that is exactly the kind of experience that each and every child also gets, right? That is the reason why you don't continue with the same teacher across all grades or across all levels, because we know that each and every child at each and every age requires a very specific kind of intervention, and that is something that that particular teacher provides. So giving the teachers that kind of training, that space to accommodate themselves and also update themselves, suggest certain things with their own observations and experiences, equally important. That is something again that I have seen in overall my experience. So whenever we talk about learning, we have to understand that it is always a continuous process. Learning by itself as a word is a continuous word. It is in continuous tense. It's ing, right? So we have to understand that is always a continuous process. And once we blend that aspect of learning or evolving in technology and adapting it in our system, I think we are mostly good to go with respect to the maybe not each and every school's mission, but definitely the mission and vision that we as educators, as Indian educators, plan to achieve. And I know that our mission and vision also keeps on evolving based on what we learn over the years. So that is what I have to say. I hope I have not taken much time, but I think yes, these two definitely go hand in hand.
Thank you, Namrata. That was wonderful. I could sense a counselor, a psychologist speaking. All right, so I would continue with what you said, and I totally agree with each and every panel member here when we say that technology is best when it brings people together. But at the same time, we also have to say that technology is a strange thing. It brings you great gifts with one hand and it stabs you in the back with the other. We have to be welcoming the gifts, but also be very careful about the stabs that it will provide or it will give us. Those scars should not ruin our life, so we have to be careful of those axes, those knives that might, technology might stab us in the back, but we should welcome those gifts with open hands, because can you avoid knowledge? Can you avoid technology? No, you can't. You cannot. Things are going to go ahead in spite of ethics, in spite of your personal beliefs, in spite of everything. And so much so to say, I discovered to my amazement that all through history there has been resistance, a bitter and exaggerated last stitch resistance to every significant technological change that has taken place on this face of earth. Did it stop things from moving ahead? No, it did not. So advancement happened. It will happen, but then yes, we have to be prepared with it. We have to ensure that we, as educators, our teachers, our teams, our children, the parent body we are associated with, and the society in general that is around us, we warn them of the ill effects, we train them to stay away from the negatives, but use this tool that can be so efficiently used in our teaching learning process to take our children forward. And I
विशाखा
guess
जी,
as educators, जी भावना जी,
एक आधे मिनट का समय मिलेगा?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, आपको तो बार
आपने
बार सुनना
बहुत
पसंद
उचित
करेंगे।
कहा और मुझे लगा कि इस संदर्भ में अगर यहाँ पर हम इस चीज का जिक्र करें जो आप कह रहे
जी
थे, दैट
जी
गीता के अध्याय 2 में श्लोक है, उसमें कहा गया है कि आप हमेशा सम तत्व में रहें।
हम्म,
Some tattva means that you need to maintain the mindful balance, that you are not so happy when you have a happiness in your life, and you will not be so sad when you have a very sad, when you have a sad moment in your life. Just maintain the balance, and that is what we need to teach our learners. We need
absolutely,
to be groom them in such a way, with n number of ways we have. We can have demonstration with the skits, role play, so many things we can just enable them, that what is the use, and that has been provided by CBSC and CRT. N number of material is available right now, so many sessions are going on. We just have to maintain that my learner is maintaining the mindful balance between what he is learning and what is, because this is the kind of a tools which are empowering them to learn more and more, and then you just have to groom them in such a way that they should use this knowledge in a productive manner. That's it. You just have to groom that in manner, and that mindful balance is required. That is what are is written in the Gita.
so I guess Gita has already said, कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भु मा सिंधुवति कर्मणे। कर्म करते चलिए, फल की इच्छा मत कीजिए, बट
बिल्कुल।
चीजें छोड़िए मत। जो आपके
हम्म,
सामने आ रहा है उसका हाथ पकड़ के आगे बढ़िए, उसके नेगेटिव से सावधान रहिए।
yeah,
गीता हमें सिखाती है अपने कर्मों को करते चलिए, और शायद टेक्नोलॉजी को अडॉप्ट करके आगे चलना ही हमारा कर्म और हमारा धर्म है। Over to
100%.
you, Sandeep ji. I rest my role as the moderator and I hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think this was such a wonderful, wonderful session, and I couldn't agree with you more that that every technological change had been faced by resistance, and a strong resistance. We are also into the banking and finance sector. We still remember when SBI and various other banks had the opportunity to involve computers, and we would have seen a lot of strikes from nationalized banks that the jobs would go away to computers. That did not happen. And we are now moving towards a cashless economy wherein Without the mobile phone, you might not be able to step out of the house. In fact, the first thing that everyone of us also does the first thing in the morning is to check the mobile, and not our face, not our, not anything else in the room, but just the mobile, and check on the messages that we have. So I think technology is the uh, key factor now, whether it is skills, whether it is education, whether it is day to day activity. So आज की डेट में, वेरी राइटली सेड, यू कैन नॉट, बिना मोबाइल के बच्चा खाना नहीं खाता. So that is the role of a technology that has been installed now, being a side effect of a technology now. I think this was such an amazing panel. We would love to thank all the esteemed panelists and the principal of the year winners. This is exactly why you have been chosen as the principal of the year, because of such amazing experiences that you bring on the table. Thank you so much, Vishakha ma'am, for being the moderator. I would also like to thank Vamashri Priya Amar ma'am, from principal of MVJ International School, Sangeeta Arora ma'am, Kothari International School, Dr. Lena Francis, principal Indian School, Dr. Gaurav Sachar, principal Baba Sharan Nath Senior Model School, Kurukshetra, Ms. Bhavna Chibar, principal Labram Public School, Mr. A.P. Sharma, principal Kundan Vidya Mandir, Ludhiana, Sonia Nagpal ma'am from Gitanjali Vedika, and definitely a huge shout out to Miss Namrata Sinha, senior psychologist and researcher of Brain Wonders. And we would like to thank Brain Wonders for this amazing, for backing this amazing talk show. Uh, Starting from now, from the 29th of April, every week we are going to get, the principal of the year winners on one or the other panel show on the Talk It series. So this will be going live till the 7th of July, because 8th of July is our event where we honor all the top principals of the country. We would love to see all of you at the event, and would love to honor you at the event on 8th of July in Delhi. Thank you so much for this amazing panel. True to its name, Principal of the Year. A huge round of applause to all the wonderful panelists out here. Thank you so much, and have a
Thank you
wonderful day.
so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you
everyone.
so much,
God
Sandeep.
bless you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. It was
Thank
a pleasure
you. Thank
meeting.
you, all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was
Thank
wonderful,
you.
lovely.
Namaskar. Have a
Thank
great
you
day.
all. We all learned a lot from each other.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, Dr. Lina.
absolutely. And congratulations to everyone.
Yeah.
And
Thank
Vishaka
you, and
ma'am,
same.
excellent work,
Wishing you the same.
excellent
Thank you.
coordination.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Congratulations.
It could not happen
We
without
all
the
are
support of each and
LLL,
everyone.
lifelong learners.
We are lifelong learners. So today there was
Yes.
an exchange of learning that